welcome to the podcast, episode 7, where today we're going to be discussing music. Real quick, before I begin this episode, I would like to apologize for the decline in good audio quality in this episode. I am not in the same place as my new microphone. Starting around, I think it was episode 4, you may have realized, episode 3 or 4, I think, you may have realized audio quality got better. It's because I got an actual good microphone, and I wasn't using my iPad. But because I'm not at my house right now, I don't have my microphone. But I did bring my iPad, so it'll work. Anyway, so music took an unpleasant turn in, I don't know, starting around the late 90s, early 2000s. So basically, when music changes along with culture. Say, back in the 60s, 50s or 60s, everything was, a vibrant color, at least everything was depicted in a vibrant color. And, so were the songs. The songs, they had a vibrant tune. They had character in them, right? And now, it's, you got Justin Bieber or, Ed Sheeran, just saying meaningless words that mean nothing to them. They just kind of, they ran out of ideas, or, they realized, oh, I need a new idea. So they just, they just, first thing that came to their head, oh, I'm in love with the shape of you, at least in, Ed Sheeran's mind. So where I'm going with this is, when culture changes, music changes. Because when culture changes, well, a lot of people are going to adapt to the mindset, or adopt the mindset of everyone else, right? Because culture changed. So, obviously, the music is going to change as well, because people are now in that mindset. So they're going to have new song ideas, right? There's nothing to, there's no reason to be angry about it, because it's been going on since the dawn of time. I mean, music will change forever. There's going to be no end to it changing. There's no reason to be angry about it. It's just something that happens. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's good to progress, to new things. Because, there are times where, Metallica isn't going to be around forever. So, we're going to have to move on at a point, right? Now, I have in my outline here issues. The third bulletin note is issues. And really, there really is no issue with it. Because, the worst it's going to do is make some people angry. Because, some people are not going to like change. A lot of people don't like change. And, I'm not, there are certain things that when they change, I'm not, I don't favor it. But change is just something that happens. It's not the end of the world when, change happens, unless, the world does end, because, something changed. The world ended. That's what changed. But anyway. So I want to dive deeper into who started it. Who made music to what it is now, which is, just fake piano noises and everything's computer generated. And I really badly want to blame it on 3 people. Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, and Justin Bieber. But there are a few issues with that, mainly with Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran. First of all, with Taylor Swift, she's not a songwriter. She copies people's tunes and then puts other words in it, and she became popular somehow. I don't know why or how. And then with Ed Sheeran, Ed Sheeran didn't even become popular until relatively recently, and he didn't really start it. And Justin Bieber, neither did he. You can't really blame those people. So, I hate to do it, but the person who did it was Michael Jackson. I'm sorry, but it was him. He did it. He started it. And that's that. I mean, he started it, and that's not my opinion, that's a fact. Because he really introduced the world to pop, or at least, made it popular, right? No pun intended with pop and popular. Not even sure if that is a pun. But anyway, I'm sorry. I know I may have started an uprising with saying Michael Jackson started something that, led into something completely different. But he was the one that made it popular. And don't get me wrong, Michael Jackson is was an amazing songwriter and, singer. And, he had brilliant vocals, and I'm sure if he were, still alive today, he still would. Because, vocals isn't one of those things that, deteriorates over time, and unless you don't practice it. Now, this doesn't go without saying. I mean, we haven't completely lost taste in music. I mean, if we had completely lost taste in music, there would be no music, because, well, taste in music is gone. The entire community is no longer interested in music. So, I mean, I doubt, losing taste in music will become a thing in the near future, if it'll ever become a thing ever. That, we haven't forgotten, older songs, right? I mean, you go to like a bar somewhere, and they're, playing live music, generally it's, they're not gonna be playing some Taylor Swift song, right? They'll generally, play some kind of country or rock song. And there are still people that, create songs that were extremely popular back in the 20th century, right? It's the reason why, bands like, the Foo Fighters, or, rock bands like that, or just, bands in general that aren't, just some kind of soulless, meaningless song by some dude that I've never heard of. And the people that create music, they are often the same. Their personality is often the same as their style of music. You have people like Ozzy Osbourne, and he's essentially a comedian. He's saying, "I should not be drinking alcohol, period," and then he's drinking wine, and then Taylor Swift's over here saying, "Oh, I have double elbows. I'm special." I hate to, make the extremely common fourth grader joke, but no one asked. So, you have songwriters like Taylor Swift saying, her songs are saying, "Oh, you're special," and then, she's, got, she's saying she's special because, she has double elbows or whatever. And she's spreading what band members are doing is they're taking their personality, and here's a perfect example of it. They're taking their personality and making a story out of it, and then making a song out of it, right? They're putting their personality into another person, right? Or a fictional person, rather. Now, none of this is bad. As I said, none of this is bad. The reason that these people are popular at all is because a majority of the people enjoy their music. And that's that's an amazing thing. I'm glad they found something that they found success in. And for all I know, they enjoy it. I mean, I hope if they didn't, they would have said, "I don't like doing this." Because, like, if you're doing something just for fame, or, for someone else's pleasure, just don't. It's pointless. it destroys your life. It doesn't make you a happy person. And it's just, if you don't want to do something that, but you feel pressured to do it, don't do it. I mean, you're not governed by your fan base. And, as I kind of glossed over earlier, people are enjoying this change because, they're enjoying the music. And, another reason why this change is happening is because we've come along, we've made enough, technological advancements to where we have more instruments to, create a wider variety of music genres, right? Or just, music in general. And, obviously there will, a point will arrive where we move on from the music genre or, just music style that we're in now, where, everything is soulless and beatless. And I'm kind of excited for that change because, in my opinion, the current music style is not that great. Now, with how many times I've said, oh, our current music style sucks, I'm not saying that all of it is bad. You would be surprised with how many music styles I like. I like, stuff from, you to, electro piano. And I'm sure, that goes for a lot of other people because you don't have to be dedicated to a single genre of music. I mean, between me and my parents, I mean, we may as well, you might think, I mean, compared to what kind of genre of music we like, you may think that we're from a completely different family because, when I, started to get into my own music, I kind of just veered into my own path than, my parents. Now, I'm not saying that, every single song ever made is good because there are some songs that are bad, tone wise or just kind of note wise or lyric wise because there are some people that are just like I don't know, I mean there are just some people that there are people that create songs just to get attention because that's what they lacked as a child, I guess, or something. People create songs saying, oh, that certain World War II dictator that I'm not allowed to say on YouTube, I think, yeah, I support him. People that, create songs like that, or at least, within that, in that region. So not all songs are good. Not all songs are bad. A majority of, songs in the world, are good, right? Because it's extremely difficult to make a song that, is bad. And, there's not a single genre out there, blues, rock, metal, techno, or whatever it's called. There's not a single genre out there that's bad in any kind of way. Now, sure, there are genres that I don't like, but that doesn't mean they're bad. So another thing that I have in my outline here is what it leads to. And, well, nowhere. I mean, it leads to another change. And I guess, what I could, say a little more legitimately is it leads to, people changing their ways or, people changing, what kind of songs they listen to because, everyone else is listening to this and they might get, sucked into what everyone else is listening to. I mean, the intro song for the podcast, it's not my kind of song. It's not something that I would listen to on a daily basis. I chose it because it really just kind of fits the theme for the logo. It just fits. Now, I'll admit, it's a song that I like, but it's not a song that I would, it's not my style, right? It's not something that, appeals to me. And, when the there was a time where the podcast, wasn't even, there was a time where the podcast wasn't even meant to be public. It went through several song stages. Then the song that I use now, "Time for Action" by Pecan-Pie, it wasn't always the theme song. It was the original song was called I think "Somewhere in the Mountain," but I was just editing that because I could. Or what I mean by that is editing the episodes that aren't out into the public. I was editing those because, well, I could. Music isn't a thing that creates an uprising, or at least in a lot of the scenarios that it's in, it doesn't create an uprising. I mean, just if the lyrics aren't something that'll anger the entire public, it's music isn't something where someone can have a conflict with someone else with. At least it shouldn't be. Because a lot of what music is an artist expressing himself. That's all it is. It's a lot of the time music is really, just for the artist to enjoy. It's just something for the artist to be happy with. What music is really just for the artist's ears. And, they'll release it, just to see if the public likes it. And if the public likes it, good for them. I mean, I'm glad that they've found something that other people like. And, doing something like that is a lot harder than it sounds because, I mean, there are 8 billion people in the world. I mean, how are you going to please a majority of them? And, the first thing you got to do is come up with a tune that no one's ever heard before. Come up with an original idea. Which, now that I think about it, that actually might be a topic for one of the next episodes. Originality. But anyway, music is designed to set you in a certain mood. If it's blues, it might make you sad, but at the same time, I mean, you like the music. If it's rock, it makes you want to wave your hair back and forth and, give yourself whiplash. Or, if it's techno, you want to do the robot dance or whatever. And, I mean, that's part of the reason why music is popular today. It's because it's designed to put you in a mood, and when it does, I mean, it worked. People use music to, brighten up their day or something. Now, obviously, seldom will people use music to make their day sad and dreary, but if they want to do that, go right ahead, I ain't stopping you. I know I wouldn't, though. So, to conclude, I think it is time to end this episode. Have a good day, and go listen to your favorite song.